Welcome back to another episode of the Perspective Podcast, unlocking the world's perspective in just a few minutes. I'm Ashley Yoon, your host, and today, get ready for a whirlwind journey as we explore the rich and poor gap in South Korea. Currently, the gulf between the haves and the have-nots is immense in South Korea than in other members of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, with only the United States showing greater inequality. The poverty rate is calculated by the percentage of people whose income is less than half of the median household income, according to the Economic Cooperation. Moreover, Korea posted a very high poverty rate of 17.4%, which is the second highest among the 35 economies analyzed. This means that South Korea's poverty rate was higher than that of Italy, Greece, the United Kingdom, and etc. But polarization between the rich and the poor in Korea has continued to widen over the years. As the research analyst states, the nation's middle income bracket has collapsed, and a large portion of the middle income household should be reclassified as part of the low income bracket. That gap hit a record last year when South Korea's richest 20% recorded 64 times the average wealth of the bottom 20%. The top 10% of households had an average annual income of approximately $146,000, while the bottom 10% of the households earned an average of just about $6,900 annually. This 21-fold difference in income represents a worsening trend as the gap has been declining steadily in the previous years. Moreover, the Hangyeodae News in Korea states that as of the end of March this year, the Gini coefficient of domestic net assets was up to 0.606, up 0.003 points from the end of March last year. The closer the index is to 1, the more wealth is concentrated among a small number of households. Making matters worse, many people feel it's impossible to live out a Korean version of the American dream, according to the Washington Post. Now I will introduce you to a new term called poverty trap. A poverty trap is a complex mechanism that makes it exceedingly difficult for individuals or families to escape poverty. This phenomenon is characterized by a self-reinforcing cycle where the lack of resources such as financial capital, education, and access to healthcare prevents individuals from improving their circumstances. As a result, they remain stuck in the low-income situation, unable to invest in opportunities that could lead to better economic outcomes. This is why poverty is a devastating and a vicious cycle that should be prevented. The income inequality directly correlates to the living standards of individuals. In Gangnam, overwhelming skyscrapers tower over the glittering landscape. However, a 6-lane highway is the only thing that separates the lux of living in Seoul from the city's devastating other half, the Kuryong village. The environment of Kuryong may feel as if it is the polar opposite of Seoul, but it is actually so close to where the wealthy individuals in South Korea live. The shanty and the flimsy home has been assembled with scrap metals and broken woods. Kuryong is where the individuals in the low-income bracket reside. However, despite the urgent needs of renovation in Kuryong, the government has ignored the residents' plight. Kuryong citizens have reported that they feel voiceless, invisible, and forgotten as they are neglected by the government despite their needs. In addition, like how Korean movie Parasite shed light on people who live in Panjia apartments, which is a cheaper, unsanitary underground home, more than a fifth of a single-person households in Seoul live in spaces under 14 square meters. Also, the Seoul Institute Capital's official estimates that a third of single-person households live in Panjias. This shows how the low-income households are not able to receive proper care and protection from the government. In conclusion, the stark income inequality and poverty issues in South Korea demand our immediate attention and action. The widening gap between the rich and the poor, exemplified by the contrast between the Gangnam's opulence and Kuryong village deprivation, highlights the urgent needs for more equitable policies and social support systems. Thank you for joining us on this episode of South Korea's immigrant workers. So how do you think the government should respond to this situation? Remember, you can always find more captivating short videos and enriching episodes right here at the Perspective Podcast. Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and keep embracing the world's diverse perspectives. See you in the next episode.